The concept of show business has been viewed through rose-tinted glasses for decades, as long as celebrities have really been a thing. Now, with coming technology and social media and things like that, the general public has had more access to information. And it kind of comes with a double-edged sword because, on one hand, celebrities who do troubling activities and partake in these troubling activities, yes, they can be held accountable as it's more closely viewed by the general public. However, a lot of celebrities, they're under such scrutiny all the time that they don't have much of a private life. So it kind of creates this strange sort of tension, and it kind of creates of what exactly is wrong behavior. And what I wanted to talk about was how celebrities, how certain behaviors the public will scrutinize and will ruin that celebrity's career, versus others who also sometimes partake in these troubling activities. They kind of sometimes get swept under the rug and not talked about. So, the topic I'm going to talk about today is what makes a celebrity become affected by cancel culture, and kind of detailing cases of different celebrities being canceled, as they say. So, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about what is cancel culture. I'll briefly talk about Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement and that whole period of time. I was going to briefly talk about Woody Allen's case with new information coming to light, and also Armie Hammer because that was a fairly recent case that came in the last year. And the most recent case I wanted to talk about was David Dobrik, which is actually the case that wanted me to talk about this topic. So, pictures. So, what is cancel culture? Now, cancel culture, for lack of a better term, is basically, it's a modern form of ostracization. So, let's say a celebrity like Harvey Weinstein, who was under attack for sexual assault cases and this and that. His career was put under fire, and he lost his career, he lost his job, and went to jail for it. And his career was pretty much over. Same thing with like some celebrities like Kevin Spacey and Bill Cosby. Now, a person, as I've stated, they can be cast out from their career, as with Kevin Spacey, who hasn't worked since his canceling. Now, a lot of this is emphasized by social media because, like I mentioned previously, a lot of these cases come under fire more because victims have a platform to speak out, and others see these victims speaking out and also have a platform to talk about this issue. So a rumor can spread very, very quickly, whether it's a rumor or a fact. So, Kevin Spacey and Bill Cosby being examples. Now, with Harvey Weinstein, as everyone knows, he was accused of multiple counts of sexual assault, sexual harassment. We kind of know the drill. Now, I found an article recently published saying how Weinstein was convicted for 23 years for rape charges. What I found interesting was defense attorneys actually wanted to sentence him only for 5 years because they were arguing that the case of his lasting career being ruined was enough damage as it was. The victim of Weinstein's said how the assault scarred her very deeply, mentally and emotionally. So, here's some pictures of Weinstein, and also the Me Too movement, which was sparked from this case. And Woody Allen, briefly, just to talk about him, he married his stepdaughter with Mia Farrow years ago, after she had become of age, and they're still married, but it's always been kind of talked about in Hollywood. Like, it was always a little strange. But what has come to light recently is his other stepchild, who has talked about how Woody Allen sexually assaulted her as a child. Now, these claims are still claims. There is real no evidence for it. Woody Allen denies it. But to at least talk about it, it's something that could very well damage his career. But what I always found very interesting is even with his stepdaughter and with this situation, his career still was going after this. He was making movies very consistently, and a lot of people in Hollywood still work with him, given that he kind of, in a way, was a predator. So I just found that interesting. And this is him with his current wife, stepdaughter, Soon-Yi. this is his other stepdaughter, Dylan, who's the one that's accusing him of sexual assault. Now, the Armie Hammer, it's a very, very new case. He was under investigation for sexual assault. There was DM messages between him and another woman, and they were very graphic in nature, graphic and violent. And a lot of people, those got leaked, so a lot of people have been viewing it as very, very troubling. And Armie Hammer's taken out of a lot of projects, and his career has kind of plummeted because of it. There's a picture. Now, David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad, it's a whole situation, but to briefly talk about it, David Dobrik is a vlogger, and him and his friend group filmed these girls who were underage drinking age, one of which was very intoxicated, and apparently later on that night, this girl, who goes under the pseudonym Hannah, has said that one of Dobrik's friends sexually assaulted her when she was under the influence. And since then, Dobrik has lost some sponsorships, has been removed from YouTube. But what I find interesting and troubling in a way is that his case has not been talked about in the media. And this case is really why I wanted to talk about it for this project, because I felt it was very troubling that the media was not picking this case up. Pictures of Dobrik, and above is Dom, as they call him, and he's the friend that's been accused of sexual assault. So my final thoughts about this is, celebrities used to be able to get away with a lot of questionable behavior. If you look back in the 60s and 70s, a lot of questionable behavior went down and no real backlash. But the culture's changed quite a bit, and social media has made it an outlet for many to talk about their struggles, and for others to band together and call these people out when they have some troubling behavior. Unfortunately, social media also does create a platform for rumors as well, so some of these claims you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, because rumors can spread very quickly. And that was my presentation. Thank you.